just took his, I talked with him, yeah, no questions. So I think that I don't expect anything. It's just in a couple of weeks, the Chancellor is going to start sitting down with presidents. And I think at this point, your offer with Senator Reid with the cost of construction, you may end up absorbing it into some of these other areas that would keep escalating in terms of elections. Something has to be bust here. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it happens before the election or after the midterm in November, but oh, really? Well, then we'll have to talk about that strategically. Anyways, but Matt, he has taken a vested interest in what's happening in the Jasper campus. He called me last week after we had our conference call Wednesday. He wanted to talk. I don't know, has he talked with you recently at all? He was asking about the gym.
Well, you say
I know. And so I told him that.
that's his mission.
No. I told him that everything right now has been focused on roofs and workforce. And then, but I said that we have talked about renovations, and I told him a little bit about what you had done with Senator Reid to just sort of smooth things over with closing some of those buildings. And I said the priorities are gym, Hutchins, I think is the auditorium, rolling, and then the library and something like that. So he seemed okay with it. I think he understood that our focus right now is workforce to take care of those immediate needs for you.
We still taking out $4 million.
I know. We'll just wait. We hold you up as a model to the rest of the state. So this is what you do when you don't have space that's being used. So I keep that something quiet. That's what's happening. How are you, sir? Wonderful. Where do you go?
Good morning. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees. We appreciate your interest in the community college system. A great deal of work has gone into our agenda that has been prepared today. Over the past month, a lot of things have taken place, many meetings, many committee meetings in preparation for today. I want to commend the Chancellor, his staff, and our college presidents and their staffs for their diligent work and preparation for this meeting. As always, we remain laser-focused on student success and remain true to our core mission of education, workforce development, and academic transfer. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our minister who's with us this morning that's going to lead us in our opening. Dr. Duran K. Odoms from Renewal, Alabama, is with us today. He graduated from Monroe County High School, in which enrolled thereafter at Alabama A&M University, where he received a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. After several years in the manufacturing industry, his heart was led to pursue ministry. Furthering his education, he received a master's in math and administration, then an education specialist in education leadership from Alabama State University, a Master of Arts in Biblical Studies from Faulkner University, and a Doctorate of Ministry in Biblical Studies from Liberty University. After 25 years, Dr. Odom retired from the Monroe County school system. During his education tenure, he served in many roles, such as a math teacher, an assistant principal, a systems test coordinator, federal programs director, director of student services, a principal, a secondary curriculum specialist, an EL coordinator, and director of the new teacher mentoring. He is currently employed as the program director for the adult education program at Faulkner University. Dr. Odoms is the pastor of Sandy Grove Missionary Baptist Church, where he has been for 24 years. He is the proud father of two, daughter Nakia, who is 24, and son Devin, who is 16. In his spare time, he loves to watch sports, and especially Alabama football. Dr. Odoms.
Let us bow. Gracious God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the blessings of the day. We pray and ask your blessings upon this board meeting, the chancellor of the school, of the system. We pray for all faculties and staff of the community college system. We ask that you would keep them in your care. Bless, watch over, lead, guide, and govern them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. If you would please stand for the pledge. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Wilkins, please call the roll.
Mr. Jeb Shell.
Present.
Mr. John Mitchell.
Present.
Miss Valerie Gray.
Present.
Mr. Matthew Woods.
Present.
Mr. Goodrich Rogers.
Present.
Mr. Milton Davis.
Present.
Mr. Levelyn Roan.
Present.
Mr. Blake McAnally.
Present.
Dr. Yvette Richardson.
Present.
Governor Kay Ivey. You have a point.
Thank you. Next is our approval of our agenda. We've had a few changes today. We've had an opportunity to look at those changes, and I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers, a second by Mr. Davis. All those in favor of approving the agenda signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Next, we have before us the minutes of the August 10, 2022 meeting. These were distributed previously to all the trustees who've had an opportunity to review these and to question any items and have corrections made. At this time, would entertain motion for approve the minutes. A motion by Mr. Shell. Second by Mr. Davis. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Minutes are approved. At this time on our schedule, we have an opportunity for public comment. Ms. Wilkins, have we anyone signed up? Thank you. I would just make a point to understand that we do offer this each month, and that there is a process by which we ask anyone who wishes to speak publicly at the meeting for make public comment to sign up in advance of that, and you can find the place to do that on our website. Next, we have our College Spotlight. Our College Spotlight is today with Northeast Alabama Community College. Dr. Campbell.
Good morning, Chairman McAnally, board members, and Chancellor Baker.
I'm honored that you've asked me to say a few things about Northeast Alabama Community College, where I serve as president. Before I get into those comments, let me recognize a number of our staff members that we have here today. They're the ones that do a lot of work of the things I'll be describing, and they get it done. And I invited quite a few of them down just to see how y'all manage business and how professional the board is. Sitting in the gallery, we have Sherry Grace, Dean of Student Services. Carrie Wright is our Dean of Workforce Development. Barbara Kilgore, Associate Dean of Instructor, and the designer of the Roscoe Trooper statue, so she's famed for that. Chad Gorham, Dean of Instruction, and Rodney Bone is our business manager. And sitting behind me here, giving support with the PowerPoint presentation, I think this is the first one that I've done. We have Patricia Falk, who is our Educational Technology Director. Jared Blackwell is our multimedia specialist. Meg Nippers, Director of Promotions and Marketing. And last but not least, my wife Carol is also here. So that get everyone? Okay. Well, again, I'm honored that you have asked me to talk about Northeast. And I'll give you a little bit of a background to the college and focus on some of the activities and events that we do on campus. I've had a lot of people ask about that, our community involvement. Northeast was founded as part of the community college system back in 1965. It's located on the county line between DeKalb and Jackson counties, about 5 miles west of Rainsville. We're actually not in Rainsville. We're about 5 miles away, but our mailing address is Rainsville, so that creates some confusion sometimes. Scottsboro and Fort Payne are the largest towns in our service area, and we're about an hour's drive from both Huntsville, Alabama, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. The college itself is located on Sand Mountain, which is a part of the Southern Appalachian chain. And we have many Appalachian geographic features in our area. On the monitor there, you see some of the typical scenes that we do have in the area. It's a little bit different from the rest of the state in that it does have a lot of the southern mountain features that are there. We pride ourselves on being an outstanding educational institution. In fact, the Aspen Institute has named Northeast as one of the top community colleges in America for 5 times. The Aspen Institute is tied into the Department of Education of the American Association of Community Colleges, so it's an honor to be recognized by them. Northeast is one of only about 40 or so community colleges that have been recognized that many times, and there are approximately 1,200 community colleges in the country. We recently led the Alabama Community College system in student retention, so we're very proud of that, and the new rates are coming out. I think we're going to be in good shape when those are finalized, so we're very, very proud of keeping our students in school, and our completion rates are usually very good as well. We have approximately 2,650 students in credit programs, and we also have some 1,500 to 2,000 non-credit students who go through our adult education program each year. We share services of our adult education program with Snead and serve DeKalb, Jackson, and Marshall counties. Northeast prides itself in having extensive educational technology. We have more than 20 computer labs on campus for students. And something else that's a little unusual is that we also have a laptop vending machine in our student center. That's a picture of it there with Patricia. Students with their IDs can check out a laptop from the vending machine, and battery life is about 12 hours when they get it. And if they're on campus, they can return to the machine, and it recharges it. And of course, we also have laptops that students can get from our library and access to them that way. So we really do stress technology at the college. Thanks to our service provider, Farmers Telecommunication, Northeast has one of the fastest internet speeds of any college or university in Alabama. My son works at a Google complex in New York City, and he says our internet service is a lot faster than it is where he works. I always like to beat New York, so that's a good thing. There are many things that I could tell you about Northeast. One is that we take pride in all the events and activities that we have on campus for students, staff, and community. We have a very active theater department whose productions for the community have been described as Broadway-like. And up till COVID, we would have anywhere from 15 to 20,000 people attend our plays each year at the college. It's dropped off some since COVID, but I'm sure we're going to build it back up. We bring the Alabama Ballet from Birmingham to campus each year. We have a rich musical heritage in our area. The Alabama band is from Fort Payne. The Leuven brothers are from Sand Mountain, and as well as the Sacred Heart Singers who performed in the movie Cold Mountain. To honor our musical heritage, we have a Music on the Mountain concert each year featuring noted national entertainers. The Alabama band this summer also did a fundraiser for a charity at Northeast. We have a Southern Writers Forum that's always very, very popular. That's Don Noble there that has a program on Alabama Public Television, interviews authors, and he comes up and interviews the ones that we pick to be in the workshop. We have a community gala that's one of the top events in the area and raises money for our foundation to give scholarships. Gala is a very, very popular event that many people love to attend. It's amazing what our personnel do to decorate the gala with, it's a gym area essentially, and they change it into just an enchanted area there for the gala. We also have a gardening fashion design soiree each year that's extremely popular. And we do some things for children in the area. That's the soiree there. And for children in the area, we have what's called a social graces program where they're taught social manners and etiquette for kids 7th through the 12th grade. I keep saying I'm going to take that 2 or 3 times to get caught up on mine, but I hadn't yet, but I'm going to. We have a summer theater workshop for children, and it usually sells out in about 10 minutes after it's opened up. Our early childhood development programs host a visit from Santa Claus each year. That'll bring in a couple of hundred people, kids of all ages come to that, with kids and adults that still enjoy Santa Claus. Our library conducts a program for children called a Story Walk, in which children read a book on plaques that are put around our walking trail. And our music department holds concerts throughout the year that are very popular and well attended. We have an event planner who coordinates all these activities. A recent speaker, Circuit Judge John Graham, described Northeast as the heart and soul of DeKalb and Jackson counties, and I like that. I want us to be that with the very place where all kinds of activity are going on. It's good for the community to have these type of activities. I suspect if it weren't for us, they wouldn't be occurring. At the same time, it's good community outreach for Northeast. People come to campus and see what's going on, find about us and our programs, and it has a lot of benefits for us. I thought there's one event that we do that might particularly interest you. This is our Latino Festival. We've been doing this festival for some 17 years, and it's one of the oldest Latino festivals in Alabama. And we started doing it in the early 2000s when the Hispanic population began to grow in our area. We hold the festival in the 1st of June, and attendance varies, but usually there'll be 1,000 to 1,500 people who attend. As you can see, the festival is geared toward families and children, and it stresses Latino arts and crafts, music, food, and dance. And it's a very happy, festive occasion. Our faculty and staff serve as hosts at this festival, and I do offer some comp time to people to work it, but most people that come to it just do it as volunteer and enjoy it themselves. There's pictures of some of our staff that's involved in putting on the Latino Festival. They look forward to it every year. It's always a good event and a lot of fun for people. I think largely as a result of this festival, our Latino enrollment has soared the past 5 or 10 years. Our Hispanic enrollment at Northeast is about 16.5% of the total enrollment. That shows you a breakdown there where we are. Hispanic population in our service area is probably 7 or 8%, so it's well above what the Hispanic population is. Here's what one of our former students, Eddie Aguilar, had to say about the Latino Festival. Eddie enrolled at Northeast, became president of student government, went on to get her bachelor's degree from Jacksonville, and now works at the University of Alabama in Huntsville, where she's getting her master's degree. So, like we got everything but Sam.
This year we celebrated our...
There we go. So.
The summer annual Latino Festival at Northeast Alabama Community College started back in the summer of 2004. This year we celebrated our 17th annual, and it's been bittersweet watching myself grow up as somebody who was performing as a child at the festival to somebody that actually got to help plan the festival. And I think that's what the festival does for people here in the community. They get to come, they get to see campus, have a great time, have a great day, and later on see themselves as students or as NACC graduates. I've seen children who once danced at the festival and who later graduated. And it's been a very important factor here in northeastern Alabama as the Hispanic community keeps growing. It's kind of special to see that this institution cares so much about the Hispanic community to keep this commitment each year and to have their doors open to something so special and something that celebrates the Hispanic community overall.
Well, we're very proud of our Hispanic students. As a rule, they're very polite kids. They're very family-oriented, and it's a pleasure having them at Northeast. We started some Hispanic clubs on campus where they can join them and participate in that and mark their heritage. We have several Hispanic personnel that work for us now, especially in areas like admissions and financial aid, where they're bilingual and can talk to Hispanic families that come in seeking information. I'll conclude by saying that we're extremely appreciative of Chancellor Baker for including Northeast in the first round of workforce development centers at several colleges in the system. We have a strong workforce development program on campus, having partnerships with many companies in our area, including Google, which is located in Jackson County. And right now it employs about 150 people, but it's supposed to be a major Google campus in the future with maybe as many as 8 data centers there. The addition of the workforce centers is going to put Northeast at an entirely new level of training. What we have now is a converted feed and seed store that we made into our workforce center. It works very well, it's functional, but this is going to be just a great addition to Northeast and the area when the center is opened up. Here's what 2 of our legislators had to say about our workforce program. This is Senator Steve Livingston and House Majority Leader Nathaniel Ledbetter.
Workforce development in Northeast Community College is very important. What happens is if we're training people at Northeast for the workforce today, we're training our students so they go immediately into the workforce. Behind us is just one example of that. CDL training for Class A and Class B drivers. The Trucking Association will tell you that today in Alabama, there's some 5,000 available jobs for Class A and Class B truckers. In addition to that, at Northeast, we do some other things. We've got some engineering construction programs, some building construction programs going on HVAC programs and nursing. We've got lots of things going on at Northeast that we're instructing folks, our children today, to be the workforce of today in today's jobs.
That's Senator Livingston there, and this is Nathaniel Ledbetter, representative from DeKalb County.
Hi, I'm Nathaniel Ledbetter, Alabama House Majority Leader. I'm excited to be on Northeast campus today. You know, Northeast is part of my district, and to see what it does in our community is exciting. The workforce development for the companies that come in and train their employees, they do a great job. Dr. Campbell and his staff is awesome, and they work for our communities extremely hard. Northeast is as important to us as other colleges across the state, being in UAB and Birmingham, or Tuscaloosa's, Alabama, University of Alabama. Northeast is just as important to us as those campuses and universities are important to those communities they serve. And we're certainly excited about what's going on at Northeast and about the enrollment increasing and looking to the future. So help us to celebrate Northeast and what's going on our campus.
I really like those comments, especially Representative Ledbetter's observation that Northeast is important to the people in Jackson and DeKalb County as UAB is to people in Jefferson County, and I've given a lot of thought to that. I think it's very true. I think that's a great comment on the Alabama community college system, that is true. In regard to our partnership, Scott Ingram, the operations manager of the Google Data Center in Jackson County, had this to say. We have several programs with Google.
Hello, I'm Scott Ingram with the Google Data Center in Jackson County, Alabama. I'm pleasured to partner with Dr. Campbell and Northeast Alabama Community College to bring the Google IT Certificate Program to Northeast in 2019, and to date trained 34 students in the Google IT Certificate. This program helps teach students the basics in networking and computer operation systems. This certificate helps prepare students for the 21st century jobs available in the IT world, helping to bridge the digital divide for all students. Google has gladly partnered with Northeast Alabama Community College to help make this program accessible to students of all backgrounds in the area.
The Google IT certificate is something that you have to pass and have to apply for a job with Google. You have to meet that qualification first. And we've had about 200 people go through the program. They get the certificate if they complete 5 courses, 2-hour courses. But at the same time, they also get credit from us for their degree toward computer science. And we work the program out with Google, and Google even provides us with a tutor, monitor to help with the program. So it's been a very good program. Final thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you a Roscoe, the campus dog update. I get questions all the time about Roscoe. Roscoe, as you've kept up with him, you probably know that he passed away back in May, but he lived in time to see our statue dedication that we have for Roscoe and Trooper, who's an actual Mustang from the West that a young lady adopted and trained, and we got her to let Trooper be a mascot as well. So Roscoe and Trooper are the college's mascots. That's a good picture of Roscoe there. Miss seeing the old boy. It's quite an attraction on campus. We have many people that come out to look at the statue. It's particularly popular with kids. And Roscoe's not forgotten. In fact, our foundation is doing a fundraiser this fall for a Roscoe the Campus Dog Scholarship. They are centering around what they call Halloween. So I anticipate that's going to be very, very successful. And Roscoe is still fondly remembered among many people in the area and around the state as well. Again, it's an honor to get to speak to you today. We so much admire what you do for Alabama through the community college system, and it's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
David.
Yes, sir.
David. Don't run off. Terry, I saw Terry come in. Did someone touch base with you last evening? We're trying to work out a deal. Did? And we okay? Google wants to make a contribution to your school.
Wow.
Oh,
but they only can do it through a 501c3, which we can accommodate.
well, very good. Very
And
good.
we're going to
Fantastic
accommodate
news.
that and money for you.
Fantastic. I'm very glad to hear that. Anything else, Chancellor, sir? Well, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell. Great presentation. Thank you. That's very informative. So many good things going on all around the state and certainly Northeast, and we're excited to hear all that you had to say. So now we get to go into a little less informative and a little more detailed portion of our agenda today. Next, we're going to move into Section 8, Executive, Legal, and Public Information. Action items A1. This is from Northeast Alabama Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Northeast Alabama Community College.
So moved.
Have a motion for Mr. Rogers, a second for Mr. Woods. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 8A2, Wallace State Community College, Selma, review of mission statement also. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Wallace State Community College, Selma. Have we a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Davis, second by Mr. Roan. Any discussion? Call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 8A3, Bishop State Community College, also review and approve of a mission statement. It's recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the revised mission statement of Bishop State Community College. Have a motion from Mr. Shell.
Second.
Second, Mr. Davis. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 8A4, Snead State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Snead State Community College to enter into a bookstore operation and services agreement with Barnes & Noble College Booksellers, LLC, for the period beginning October 1, 2022, and ending on September 30, 2027.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Woods, second by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving now to item 8A5, Jefferson State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Jefferson State Community College to enter into a bookstore operation and services agreement with Barnes & Noble College Booksellers, LLC, for the period beginning October 1, 2022, and ending on September 30, 2027.
Motion.
Motion from Mr. Davis. Second, Mr. Shell. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 8A6, Wallace Community College, Selma. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Wallace Community College, Selma, to enter into a bookstore operation and services agreement with Barnes & Noble College Booksellers, LLC, for the period beginning October 1, 2022, and ending on September 30th, 2027, and to charge a $24 per credit hour fee for textbook rental to take effect fall semester 2022. Motion from Mr. Roan. Have a second? Second from Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving now to Section 9, Instructional Research and Development, Adult Education, Facilities, Fiscal, Information Technology, and Workforce Development. Action item 9A1, Southern Union State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve Southern Union State Community College's application for an associate in applied science degree in veterinarian animal health technology, technician, and veterinarian assistant to be implemented fall semester 2023. Have we a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Davis, second, Mr. Roan. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A2, Alabama Community College System Institutions. 2022-2023 ACCS operating budgets. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the 2022-2023 budgets as presented by the Chancellor for the Community College, for the Community and Technical Colleges, Alabama Technology Network, and Marion Military Institute. Have we a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rogers. Second, Mr. Davis. Any discussion, comments? I would just take the opportunity to tell you that the Audit Finance Committee met a few times concerning budgets on this item and the following item. And we had a lot of input from the Chancellor staff and finance, and thankful to Sarah Calhoun and her team and all that they did to help us understand our current budget and where we stood. And she did quite a bit of work in helping us look at a comparative analysis over the last decade of where we are. And for that, we're very thankful for their efforts. Very informative, and we're confident in the budget, I think, that we have before us as a committee. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. The motion carries. Moving now to item 9A3, the Alabama Community College System Office 2022-23 System Office Budget. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the 2022-2023 budget for the Alabama Community College System Office and limit expenditures to available revenues. Have we a motion? Motion from Mr. Davis. Second from Mr. Shell. Any comments? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. I would just add to those last couple of items on budgets, and some of the comparative analysis that was prepared for our committee included looking at other systems all across the country. And what we saw is that we operate from a financial perspective very efficiently. In fact, we find ourselves at the average cost at about 41%. So we're very cost-effective and very efficient in what we're doing in Alabama, and for that, we're very thankful for our schools and for the system office and all that you do to make that happen. All right, moving along to item 9A4, Alabama Community College System Office Annual Financial and Single Audits. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the Alabama Community College System institutions and system office to engage certified public accounting firms to conduct annual financial and federal single audits beginning with audit year 2021-2022. Have we a motion? Motion, Mr. Wood.
Second.
Second, Mr. Davis. Any discussion, comments?
I've asked Sarah to be prepared.
Okay.
I'm trying to Yeah,
She's here.
She's here.
We'll ask Sarah Calhoun to come and just make a statement on this item.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to this. We greatly appreciate the support the board has provided to the system and the continued emphasis that has been placed on fiscal management, and we feel that this is the next logical step. The established timeline for the private audits have been developed to ensure timely reporting for both state and federal deadlines. From today until the end of the month, we will be working with the presidents and CFOs during their selection process for the private CPA firms to formalize their audit engagements. The institutions will only engage firms with higher education audit experience and that have the necessary capacity to meet the audit timeline requirements. By October 1st, our colleges will be prepared to begin their FY22 audit process so that the financial statement audits will be finalized and published by January 17th of 2023. The single audit completion deadline will follow shortly thereafter with the planned completion date of March 17th of 2023. Our colleges are ready for this challenge, and the system is prepared to support their efforts with this new endeavor. We thank you for your consideration of this action item, and I'll be happy to address any questions that you might have.
I just want to reiterate the importance of the audits, especially to meet those state and federal guidelines.
Absolutely.
Because it's really needed for our funding. So
Absolutely.
Again, thank you for your work in the colleges as well.
It's critical.
Yep.
Further questions, comments? Chancellor?
I would like to express, over the last several weeks, we've been having meetings with small groups of presidents, talking with them about the goal and advising them that we want the presidents in each particular pod, so to speak, or group, to interview and pick the best auditors for that area. We just feel like that it should be, we want the interest of the auditors in using this to help strengthen our financial management program across the state. And I think we will do that. The presidents have been more than willing to accept that role. And our goal is, as it always has been, through the process of consolidation to a single software package for financial management. And the whole process is to be the most efficient in managing our financial operations, but being totally accurate. And as to the extent possible, we want to have the best managed financial system in the country. And that's where we're headed, and we're gonna get there.
Thank you, Chancellor. I would also say that the Audit Finance Committee met several times over the last several weeks concerning this issue also, and lots of discussion, lots of questions, and we believe this is absolutely the best move for us. It's a necessary move. There are still some statutory requirements where the examiner's office will still be reviewing the audits prepared by the outside firms. But it is imperative that we meet schedules, particularly with respect to funding items and federal funding. It's, as many of you understand, it's, for a lot of our colleges, it's a third of their budget, that funding is. So it's absolutely essential that these audits be done and be done accurately and timely. And so we're confident we're moving in the right direction. I would say, too, this is nothing that is unusual or abnormal. Most all the four-year universities in the state do the same thing. I think there's maybe only one that is still examined by the state only.
That's correct, sir.
Any additional comments, thoughts?
I'd just like to add, as a former auditor and somebody who pays for audits now, and also more importantly as somebody with fiduciary responsibility on this side of the table here, this gives me a lot of comfort moving forward with this. And also, like the Chancellor mentioned, having timely and accurate information. You can't run a business or a school unless you've got timely information and the feedback from the public firms you'll get on helping you get better. So all around, feel good about this and appreciate y'all's hard work in pulling it together.
I agree, and I would just add this before we have our vote. But You know, we began over, I guess, 7 years ago with the impetus on audits in that we wanted a continually improvement model, in that we used audits to help our schools and those business offices in the schools become better at what they do, to help share information and share information between schools so that everybody could rise to the best possible level possible that they could attain. And I think we're absolutely headed down that path. As the Chancellor said, we see these efficiencies when we compare ourselves to the other colleges all across the United States. So I think it's bearing out what we've intended to accomplish, and this is another piece of that. Any further comments, discussion? So we have a motion and a second on the table. We'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A5, Shelton State Community College renovation to Building 100 at the C.A. Fred campus. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Shelton State Community College to proceed with the full renovations of the existing Building 100, including relocation and upgrades to the library, new classrooms and offices, scaling of the exterior building envelope, upgraded finishes, and technology. The expected milestones for the project, for the schedule of this project, is as follows. Bid date, September 8, 2022. Construction start date, third quarter 2022. Substantial completion, third quarter 2023, and final completion, third quarter 2023. Have we a motion? Moved. Motion by Mr. Wood.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rome. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A6, Wallace Community College Dothan HVAC replacement for the Computer Technology Center Dothan campus. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Wallace Community College to proceed with construction of the project named HVAC replacement for the Computer Technology Center. This project will replace the entire HVAC system in the Computer Technology Center on the Wallace Dothan campus due to the excessive failures of the existing undersized system, Freon type, and equipment age of 37 years, and the need for new controls. Construction contract shall be executed no later than March 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. We have a motion for Mr. Mitchell. Second, Mr. Davis. Any comment or question? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 9A7, Trinham State Community College CDL Training Site. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Trinham State Community College to proceed with work associated with the project named Trinham State Community College CDL Training Site. The scope of work for the project includes approved change order number 1 that is over 10% of the original contract price. The expected milestones, bid date having passed in this past April, but substantial completion being second quarter 23, final completion third quarter 2023. Have we a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mitchell, second by Mr. Shell. All those any questions, comments? None? All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 9A8, Bishop State Community College Main Campus Hardscape and Landscape Improvements. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Bishop State Community College to proceed with construction of the project named Landscape and Hardscape Improvements. The scope of work for improvements at the Center for Advanced Manufacturing building and the Allied Health Sciences building on the main campus of Bishop State Community College. Construction contract shall be executed no later than January 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Final completion date, fourth quarter 2022. Motion, Mr. Shell.
Second.
Second, Mr. Davis. Comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 9A9, Coastal Alabama Community College, Coastal Alabama Community College HVAC projects. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Coastal Alabama Community College to proceed with work associated of the project named Coastal Alabama Community College HVAC projects. The scope of work for the project includes to approve change order number 2 that is over 10% of the original contract to the original scope for upgrading the ventilation systems and buildings across the Coastal Alabama Community College footprint, to increase fresh air intake and install natural catalytic converters that emit hydrogen peroxide. Expected milestone for completion of the project is third quarter 2023. We have a motion. Motion, Mr. Davis. Second, Mr. Shell. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A10, Trinham State Community College CARES Act for HVAC improvements, Patterson campus. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Trinham State Community College to proceed with the renovation of the project named CARES Act HVAC improvements at Patterson campus. The scope of work for this project is to modernize, replace building systems, and replace obsolete electrical, and that contribute to improved air quality and reduce the transmission of COVID in Trinham State Community College Patterson campus buildings. Final completion date is expected fourth quarter 2023. Have we a motion? Motion by Mr. Mitchell, second by Mr. Jerome. Any discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 9A11, J.F. Drake State Community and Technical College CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize J.F. Drake State Community and Technical College to proceed with construction of the project named CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. The scope of work for this project is to modernize and replace building systems that contribute to improved air quality and reduce transmission of COVID in multiple buildings at the campus of J.F. Drake State Community and Technical College. Construction contracts shall be executed no later than January 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. The substantial completion date is expected to be June 30, 2023. Have we a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Rogers, second, Mr. Davis. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A12, Lawson State Community College CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Lawson State Community College to proceed with the construction of the project named CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. The scope of work for this project is to modernize and replace building systems that contribute to improved air quality and reduce the transmission of COVID in multiple buildings at the Birmingham and Bessemer campuses of Lawson State Community College. Construction contracts shall be executed no later than January 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Substantial completion date is expected to be June 30, 2023. Have we a motion? Motion, Mr. Davis, second, Mr. Roan. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Item 9A13, J.F. Ingram State Technical College, Thomasville CDL pad, emergency water line and property fence. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize J.F. Ingram State Technical College to proceed with construction of the project name CDL Pad, Emergency Water Line, and Property Fence. The scope of work for this project will construct a commercial driver's license CDL pad, install a new water line to serve the dining hall, and install a new property fence. Construction contracts shall be executed no later than March 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. The final completion date is expected to be the third quarter of 2023. Have we a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Woods. Second, Mr. Roan. Any discussions, questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Moving now to item 9A14, Bevel State Community College, Rapid Training Facility Renovation, Hamilton Campus. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Bevel State Community College to proceed with the range of accelerated workforce skill training programs that provide industry-recognized credentials for high-quality, in-demand jobs. Construction contracts shall be executed no later than January 31, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Final completion is expected third quarter 2023. Have we a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Woods. Second, Mr. Shell. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. And now item 9A15, Bishop State Community College CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Bishop State Community College to proceed with construction of the project named CARES Act for COVID-related capital renewal. The scope of work for this project is to modernize and replace building systems that contribute to improved air quality and reduce the transmission of COVID in multiple buildings at the campuses of Bishop State Community College. Due to non-compliant bids for electrical panels and for a generator, the college is authorized to negotiate a price as outlined by Title 39 of Alabama Code. Any negotiation will be for a price lower than the rough order of magnitude established for item number 2. The rough order of magnitude electrical equipment package 1 bid. If negotiations are not successful, the college may rebid the equipment. Substantial completion for the project is expected to be June 30, 2023. Have we a motion? Motion, Mr. Davis. Second, Mr. Shell. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. And that's the last of section 9. Quite a few items, a lot of work going on. A lot of work going on. We'll now move to section 10, personnel. Ms. Finkelstein is going to come brief us.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Charlene Finkelstein with the Human Resources Department, and I'd like to briefly introduce some fabulous new additions to our system office. First of all, we have Ms. Philandria Ware. We stand up and wave. Thank you. Philandria is our new Communications and Public Relations Coordinator for Adult Education. She has 14 years of experience in marketing and public relations and corporate sales in the business world. She most recently served as Marketing and Communications Specialist at Hyundai Mobis in Montgomery. She has a bachelor's degree in marketing from Auburn University. Next, we have Ms. Kim Gaines. Kim is our new Administrative Assistant for Adult Education. She's taught math, history, and digital literacy for over 11 years and most recently served as Chief Examiner for Adult Education and GED testing at Calhoun Community College. She has a bachelor's degree in finance from Louisiana Tech University and a master's degree in business administration from the University of Louisiana. She has several certifications from the Manufacturing Skills Standards Council. Thank you. And we have Russell Moore. Russell is our new Communications and Public Affairs Coordinator. Russell has over 17 years of experience in communications and marketing. He was a sports writer for the Daily Mountain Eagle in Jasper, Alabama for 4 years. He most recently was Creative and Content Services Coordinator at Wallace State Community College in Huntsville, where he also served as a speech instructor. Russell has a bachelor's degree in journalism from Auburn University and a master's in strategic communication from Troy University. So please help me welcome our 3 new additions. Thank you.
Welcome. It's very good to have you with us. Thank you. I did want to take a moment also to mention something that was brought to my attention earlier this morning. And unfortunately, I think I saw Dr. Young walk out a moment ago, but Dr. Linda Young has recently been named by Yellowhammer News as one of the honorees for Women of Impact. And Dr. Young, we're very excited about that for you and appreciate all that you do for us at Wallace Dothan. All right, moving along to Section 11, Chancellor's Report.
Well, David, I think it's time to let's talk about adult education. And I'll turn the floor over to you for the time being. Now, when I said for the time being, you all understand David.
I'm putting a timer on right now. Well, Chancellor Baker, thank you very much for the introduction this morning. It's a pleasure to be in front of the board and Chairman McAnally. Thank you very much. I'm honored and privileged, and I'm really excited to showcase a couple of things this morning about the ACE program, Alabama Career Essentials, and then the Mobilizing Alabama's Pathways. These are 2 of our newest courses that we're putting out there, and ACE is going to be replacing the Ready to Work program. So I'm going to share some of that with you this morning, get into the system itself, but you're going to see the presentation I'm doing this morning is a little different than a regular PowerPoint presentation. We coursed it. So what I'm showing you today is we actually put it into a course format. So for many of you all in the audience, I put something in your chair. If you want to follow along with the presentation, all you have to do is take your phone out and hit the QR code, and it'll pull up my presentation, okay? So you can follow along with it. Board members, you can do the same thing. If you don't want to, you've got everything in your packet as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But we are trying to utilize technology as much as possible in the field of adult ed. So we're putting QR codes. That's a great way to have a lot of information without having to put a lot of things on a piece of paper. So we're utilizing that more and more. So we're going to dive into it. So I've got folks in the back that's operating this for me. So I've got a little roadmap for you. So we're going to take you on a little trip this morning. So first of all, I want to kind of share with you the adult education team. Now, I'm not going to go into everything we do in the field of adult education because I'd be here all day and I don't have that time. So I'm going to get through it a little quicker. But this gives you kind of a look at our team. And you met a couple of the new team members that we're very, very proud of. But we got a wonderful team of folks that really make adult ed what it is today. So I'm very honored and pleased to lead such a wonderful group of individuals. Now, we can't do what we need to do out there unless it's working with others. And certainly we have a lot of partners, and I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. But I did share with you that I wanted to kind of give you a breadth of what we do and the depth of what we do in the field of adult education. And adult education is one of those federal grants. We also get state education trust fund funding as well. But it is under the Title II Adult Education and Family Literacy Act, which is part of the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. Many of y'all have heard about that. We are one of the core partners in that act, along with Title I, which is Department of Commerce and Department of Labor, Wagner-Pfizer, which is Title III, and Title IV, Rehabilitation Services. We also have partners like the Department of Human Resources, State Department of Education, and others that I'm going to get to in a few minutes. I also highlighted here for you the ACE program and the Mobilizing Alabama's Pathways, because that's what we're going to talk about. But I did want you to see we do everything in the world of education, from basic literacy, individuals that can't read, write, speak the English language, individuals that may have dropped out of high school. We help them go back and get a GED equivalency. And then Dr. Campbell did such a wonderful job this morning talking about everything they do at Northeast. And certainly they have one of the largest English as a second language programs through adult education in our state. So we're very proud of Dr. Campbell and what you guys do, as well as all the other presidents and colleges. And we also have a couple community-based organizations that I'm going to show you just now in a few minutes. So it should be the next slide. So like I said, we can't do what we do without partners. So all the colleges are part of everything we do in the field of adult ed, especially with these new courses that we developed, the ACE and the MAP course. Colleges had a role to play in all of that. It was either in part of the creation of it, it was the testing of it to make sure it was at the level it needed to be. We also got business and industry engaged in it. So this is something that was not done in isolation. We had all the partners involved. And I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes, but I do want to highlight two partners that's here with me today. And I'm honored to introduce Commissioner Buckner, who has been a partner with us for many years. We have a multi-million-dollar contract with the Department of Human Resources. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, if I will. And I think I vetted it with the commissioner this morning. I started back in 2014 at the community college system, and it's been a whirlwind ever since. But that first probably month or so, I was getting to know all the partners, and we started seeing that we could actually implement some things with DHR that we'd never done before. So I'd worked with Commissioner Buckner's staff, put some things together, and it got recognized at the federal level. So they were having a national meeting down in Mississippi, and I had not met Commissioner Buckner yet, and I was invited to come and talk about our collaboration. So I got down there, and she came up to me, introduced herself, and she said, "I need you to say this, this, and this." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I worked it into my presentation, even though I didn't have it in there. I worked it in there, and at the end of it, she said, "You did well." So thank you, and we've had a great friendship ever since then. So if you don't mind, would you like to say a few words about what we're doing through adult ed, through the ACE program, the MAPS program, and also Skills for Success? You just recently showcased that program as well. Yes, come on over. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me here this morning, Chancellor Baker and the rest of the board. Of course, as David said, I'm DHR. I've been the commissioner for about 14 years, but I grew up at DHR. So I've been out there where the rubber meets the road for many, many years. First of all, I want to say that, we have had a relationship with the community college system for about 20 years. We started out with the TANF program, which is what people refer to as welfare checks. But in the last several years, on the federal level, USDA, which is what Food and Nutrition Services falls under, which is what people know as food stamps or the SNAP program, has put a real focus on education and training, because that is really what I believe will move the needle across the country. We talk about worker shortages and what we can do. Well, if we could figure out how to put just a percentage of the people receiving food assistance in a career job, then I don't believe we would have a worker shortage. And just to quantify that a little bit, I don't know if you know, but in Alabama, we have probably between 700 and 750,000 people receiving SNAP benefits every month. And out of that, about 88,000 or so are senior citizens, about 350,000 are children. So there are thousands of people in that middle bracket. Now, do they all want a job? No, they don't. But a lot of them do. And what you may not know is that many of them are working. They're just not making enough money, to support their family. And what we're looking for is careers. So we have really involved to a huge partnership with the community college system. First of all, too, I want to thank the college presidents. This past summer, we had a summer youth employment program, and I think every college, with David's pushing some too, participated in that program, and I thank all the college presidents so much, because the youth are our future. And many of the population that I work with, I've spent my life working with vulnerable people and people in poverty. And they just didn't grow up with a lot of assets like many of us have. Do you know one that did make it and didn't have anything? Of course you do. But there's a huge population that didn't wake up every morning with mom and dad going to work. So there's a lot of soft skills and there's a lot of hand-holding that really has to be done. And the thing that I have seen the most in regard to what the two-year college system is doing is we would work with these people and then it might take 6 months to get them into a particular training program. And I know I'm not calling it the right thing, but the Innovation Center, Chancellor Baker had talked to me probably a year before this really came to do, and I thought, oh, that's a great idea. But I did not fully understand what that was. And I'm telling you, I have spent my career working with this population of people on SNAP and TANF, and I have never in the whole workforce arena seen anything as creative and as innovative as that particular thing is. And I think through our collaboration and the people in the community college system that are working with that, they care. And that is a big difference. And that's one of the things, I'm not going to say people don't care, but you got to care in a special way to make this population of people trust you, want to do it. You can't wait 6 months out to put them in training. And that is the beauty of this program that has been created here at the community college system. So I thank you very much for it. And thank you for letting me be here today. Thanks.
My goodness, she summed that up wonderful. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. And now I've got a couple gentlemen from the actually State Department of Education. Would y'all like to say just a few words about our partnership with you guys from the standpoint of Ready to Work, which now will be the ACE program going forward? So Ken Seeley.
I'm Ken Seeley. I'm with the State Department of Education. I'm Workforce Development Administrator. And there's Mark. Mark behind me. Mark McGee just joined our team as administrator as well, and he'll be working directly with the community college system. What I wanted to say was I got the chance to, along with my team and Dr. Hull, who couldn't be here today, Dr. Hull was able to see this program and what it's going to offer to our students and what we can do. I'm very committed to a streamlined, as easy as possible transition for high school students right into the community college system. Because I think that's a way that we can develop the workforce quicker. And so this is what you showed us, David, was probably so much easier for everybody to move into getting those training skills that our students need on those soft skills side, and also preparing them for moving forward into those skilled trades. And so I'm very excited about this, David. I think it's going to be great.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so we've got the testimonies out of the way. Now let's go into the product itself. So we're really excited about showing you what it looks like. So it's built on the Rise 360 platform. We're going to show you a video that will kind of capture, without me talking all morning, it'll capture kind of what we really are trying to focus on with the ACE program.
One of the core missions of the Alabama Community College System is to stay up to date with Alabama's business and industry training and educational needs. An ongoing major challenge facing our industry sector is the need for workers that have employability skills or soft skills. That's why we started the ACE project. ACE, or Alabama Career Essentials, is an employability skills training course and curriculum aligned with the most current ACCCP most in-demand career clusters. The ACE course will be offered by the Alabama Adult Education Department and made available to all Alabamians at no cost. The main competencies students will learn are computer literacy, math for work, financial literacy, communication, workplace etiquette, resolving problems in the workplace, healthy workplace environment, employment preparation, and workplace safety. The ACE course will help get learners on track to employment, a job promotion, or a specific career pathway credential. The course offers flexible learning options such as online, hybrid, or in person, and can be individualized to meet each learner's needs. A variety of interactives such as drag and drop, sorting, flip cards, label graphics, and real-world scenarios provide students of all learning modalities with an engaging and unique learning experience. The ACE course is seamlessly responsive and adapts automatically to tablets, smartphones, and other mobile devices. Whether they're at home, at school, or on the go, learners always have an optimal learning experience. Students who complete the course will earn the Alabama Certified Employee Credential. Students will also have options to earn their WorkKeys certifications and move on to earn MAP certifications or begin a Skills for Success rapid training course. No matter the student's goals, the ACE course will get them started on the pathway to success. ACE, Real Life Education and Training for Real Life Careers.
So real quickly, I'm going to take you through a few more things, but I think that video really summarizes what we've done here. Also, to give you an idea, now we're going into some specific areas of the course. We're not in the live course yet. I may, if we have time, take you in it, but I may just want to cover some of the high points. But real quickly, one thing that this program has that the Ready to Work program did not have is from the standpoint of college credit. So we've worked with Dr. Olson and her team. We've mapped everything over from the ACE program, and actually it maps over to WK 106 program that colleges offer right now. And so we can actually give 3 college credits for anyone coming into one of our colleges that have already completed the ACE program, okay? So that's a wonderful incentive that the Ready to Work program did not have, that gives students an ability to matriculate into the community college system. So here's the modules, and I'm not going to go over that, but it shows the roadmap. So when students go in this, they have to go into each section. Each section has to be completed. There's knowledge checks that's embedded into each section. Each section is also going to be digitally badged. That's a term we're using now. We're going to break it down where you can have the overall certification, but let's say, for example, life gets in the way, which many clients that you have through DHR, sometimes they're not able to complete, but they did complete a couple sections of this. We can digitally badge that and give them a certification that would probably allow the employer to go ahead and hire the individual. So let me give you an example. If you go through the workplace safety portion of it, that's equivalent to an OSHA 10, okay? So that one module, Module 9 there, if you complete that module, you can have a digital badge that would be equivalent to an OSHA 10. You still have to take the OSHA 10 certification, but you would have completed all the coursework for it, okay? All right. So again, there's the competencies. I want to stay real quick on here, and you can see that at the bottom, we've actually got the competency model with it. This is a model that was developed through the Alabama Committee on Credentialing Career Pathways, through the Governor's Office of Education and Workforce Transformation, and certainly Chancellor Baker is one of the co-chairs of the ACCCP committee. What you're looking at is the first 3 levels, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 of the competency model. It is actually 8 tiers. These first 3 are foundational, fundamental skills that any worker need to have, and that's what we've been able to create through the ACE program, is these fundamental skills based on the work of the ACCCP and the technical advisory committees that's made up of business and industry across the state. And we had our community colleges as part of that, and other core partners that was part of that group to develop these. So we've utilized these technologies. I'll tell you this, and these competencies, and I'll tell you this to tell you this. That didn't make a lot of sense. So, but here's what I'm going to tell you, is that we actually, thank you. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Wanted to get a laugh. So the reason we did this is because you can have all these competencies, but until you course it, what have you done? This is an example of where we actually course all the competencies that business and industry has been asking for. We're one of the first states in the nation that has done anything like this. So at the end of this month, I have the honor and pleasure and privilege to go with Nick Moore with the governor's office, and we're going to be presenting to the Lumina Foundation in Indianapolis, Indiana. So we'll be presenting to every state on what we're doing in Alabama and how we've taken the ACCCP work, the competencies, and we put it into action. Does that make sense? So that's what we've done here. All right. Blake, we did this for you. Construction. So we wanted to show you the construction map. I've talked about the ACE program and fundamental. We also have something that's built off of Tier 4. And so Tier 4 is a little higher, obviously, than Tier 1, 2, and 3, but it's still basic from a fundamental standpoint that you need to have in certain sectors. So we took the construction sectors. We took actually the 5 main industry sectors in Alabama, which is manufacturing, IT, technology, healthcare, and construction trades. And we built this on each of those 5 main industries. We also threw in hospitality and tourism because the Innovation Center and Skills for Success had created that. So we worked that in as well. We're going to be working on the other 16 career sectors. So we're focusing on those as well. But right now we've got those 6 that have already been completed. So this is an example of the construction tier and the Tier 4 competencies that we focused on. And then you can see the map that we've created here. So you've got basically 8 modules that's going to deal with the construction field: construction basics, construction tools, structure and layoffs, components and materials, all of those different components that we heard from the construction industry, that these are vital things that any baseline employee coming into the field needs to know. That's not going to get into the specific skills, but it's that'll come later through the Innovation Center, Skills for Success, and through the colleges and all the programs that they offer from the technical side and workforce side. This just gives a base understanding and foundation. It gives them an idea whether or not they want to be in the construction field. So we've done that for all the other 5 main sectors as well. So we're very proud of that. So one thing that we constantly heard from business and industry, especially from the standpoint of, they want individuals that can read the tape measure. Sometimes we take that for granted, don't we? We've got a lot of adults in our state, and sometimes they come into your business and industry that don't have some of those basic skills, and they don't understand how to read a basic tape measure. So we've got companies in the state that will actually give you an hour, $1 an hour raise for being able to show that you can actually read a tape measure. Now, I didn't realize that, but I just showed you the companies that actually are paying that. So if you can read a tape measure, you can get $1 an hour more for being able to demonstrate that you can do that. So guess what? We worked that into the class. So what I'm showing you right now is some basic stuff. And if we were in the live course, there's much more than that. But I'm just showing you real quickly some things that actually shows you how to read a tape measure. And everything that we've created here can be done asynchronously. It can be done independently at home. It can be done in a classroom environment. It can be done in a hybrid model where you have a facilitator, a teacher that's teaching it, and also the student can do things on their own. The entire ACE course is probably around 60 hours. The MAP courses range from 20 to 25 hours depending on the industry sector, okay? And I'm getting close to time, so I'm going to speed through this real quick because I promised you I'd get through in less than 20 minutes. All right, Rachel, if you don't mind. So again, you all have this where you can certainly go through, test it out, play with it. We also provided you a link to the demo course. So you can actually go into the entire course, go into every module. You have the ability to go back and forth, whereas students don't have that ability once they go into it. So here's the Live ACE course. Rachel, let's not go into it because of time. Let's just go directly into the next, which is the National Adult Ed and Family Literacy Week. Okay, I want to leave you with this. This month is actually a celebration for us. We're celebrating the entire month. But September 18th through the 24th is National Adult Ed and Family Literacy Week. So we always kick that off with a proclamation from Governor Ivey. So we picked that up on Friday. So I want to appreciate Boone for going with me over there to get that. Unfortunately, the governor wasn't available for a picture, but we did have one of her staff people come down. And if you want to scroll up, you can kind of see, me and Alyssa Turner with the governor's office brought down the proclamation. So we're glad to have this. And we use this to kick it off with all the adult ed programs throughout the state and all the colleges. So we're very proud of this proclamation. You've got a copy of it in front of you. So this sheet here, and then everyone in the audience has got a copy of it as well. Please use this to actually spearhead and kick off your celebrations at each of your colleges and your adult ed programs for Adult Ed and Family Literacy Week. Okay? And I will stop there unless you want me to say anything else. Am I good?
It'd be okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You
No, you
sound
did
like
it.
Nancy,
As usual, you did a good
Commissioner
job.
Buckner. You did well. Okay.
And the Commissioner Buckner has just been super to work with us in many, many ways that has made a lot of this possible. We appreciate that. And we do all this. Neil, come tell us why we do all this.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide an enrollment update and an update on a few of the items that we're working on in the Student Success Division. I was afraid it was going to be afternoon before I was able to present to you, so I'm glad I'm able to say good morning. Let's see. This is, let's see. So I'll go ahead and get started. I think that's actually my last slide, but I want to go to our slide for the enrollment update. Can I control that? Let's see. Here we go. All right. So as of yesterday, and these numbers have changed even a little bit more today. As of yesterday, our colleges have enrolled 76,947 students for fall term of 2022. This is a 2.3% increase over fall 21 head count. That totals an additional 1,729 students. This is a really, really big step. As you remember, last fall we had a significant increase in enrollment, and to be able to have an increase in enrollment 2 years in a row is fantastic in this enrollment climate. The trend continues on for credit hour production. Our students are registered for over 688,000 credit hours for this fall. That's a 2.7% increase over last fall. And so I think the important thing to note is that 18 of our colleges are up in head count. 19 of them are up in credit hour production. And we're really, really proud of what it is that our colleges have done. And presidents, you're to be complimented, and I think it's to be acknowledged what you and your staff are doing in efforts to enroll these students. As I said, if these numbers hold, and it seems like they will, in fact, from this point on, last year we registered about an additional 1,100 students over where we were on this date last year. So we expect that this number is going to continue with registration for the second mini term. And we still have a few colleges who are continuing to register some last-minute dual enrollment students. So this would mean an enrollment increase 2 consecutive fall terms. Again, these numbers aren't final. We are expecting an increase with second mini term, and I also want to make a note that we had a handful of our colleges that for fall enrollment of last year, they were able to include an incarcerated student population. And I believe that was Calhoun, Gadsden State, Coastal Alabama, and Wallace, Dothan. Of course, incarcerated education has all been moved now to Ingram State, and so those colleges, I think it should be noted that that what we're trying to do is consider that when we're comparing their fall. We've taken out the incarcerated population from their numbers last year, so we're actually comparing apples to apples this year. But again, very, very proud of our colleges for that, and proud of what your enrollment offices are doing. I want to say quickly, you have heard over the last year or so a good bit about TargetX and this fantastic software that we've purchased to be able to strategically nudge students toward enrollment and make sure. In fact, I heard one president, Keith Brown from Jeff State a minute ago, said, you know, my understanding of TargetX is that it can do everything short of putting the student in the car and bringing them to campus, and that's close to right. There's a lot that can be done with that related to being able to strategically communicate with students about what the next steps are, nudge them toward enrollment, and to be able to automate a lot of that so that our colleges are able to migrate away from using spreadsheets and having to manually knuckle out emails every time they want to update a student. And so there's a lot that can be done with that. And right now, we are in the retention implementation phase of that. We've already gone through, all of our colleges are live with the recruiting and the admissions suite of products, which includes event management and email and text and an application for admission, inquiry forms so students can request information. So we've moved past all of that. All of those are live, but right now we're working on the retention and student success suite. This includes a lot of different items. This includes the ability to notify advisors and faculty and be able to provide early alerts for students who may be struggling and showing that they're struggling early in the term. Student success scores, this allows us to be able to see based off of the information that a student brings in with them. So what high school did they attend? What was their ACT score? High school GPA? Are they a first generation student? Those types of things. We're able to see what's their likelihood to retain, their likelihood to succeed, so that we can continue to intervene early. Queue management, long registration lines, that's a reality at a lot of our colleges, and so being able to help students manage that line and know when their line is up next, so they don't have to sit out in the hall in a chair. They can go grab a snack, or they can go run an errand and know when their next spot is coming up. I'm not going to belabor all of these, but there are some tremendous tools that are built into this package. Faculty referrals, again, being able to email, text, and set up events for current students, as opposed to just the new students, which is what's already rolled out. So 8 of our colleges are in our building today, finishing up their training and their implementation of all of these tools. By the end of this week, they will be live with these tools. And then at the end of this month, we will roll out an implementation to the remaining 16 colleges. And so we're excited about this. If you want to stop by the 3rd floor today and check out the training that is going on and the work session that's happening with those 8 colleges, feel free. We're having Moe's Barbecue catered in for lunch if you're feeling hungry. And so we're excited about what's happening with that training, and want you to feel welcome to come down and see what's happening. But again, all of those remaining colleges will begin their implementation at the end of this month, and they will be live with those tools by December 22. The last thing I want to update you on is our initiative to really push out some strategy surrounding non-traditional students. And that's a term that you hear a lot. And we serve a lot of non-traditional populations within the Alabama Community College system. But we're talking specifically students who are 24 and older. This is a very different population. Our high school graduation numbers will continue to decline, and futurists are saying that that's going to continue to decline for a long, long time. So if we're going to grow, if our colleges are going to grow, we're going to have to point our attention toward serving. In addition to those high school students, we're going to have to serve other populations, right? The difficulty with being able to serve non-traditional populations is that, where are they? How do you find them? How do you get the word out to them? With high school students, it's a little different because you know where they are between 8 and 3 o'clock every single day, right? They're in school. So we've entered a partnership with a company called Wiley Beyond. This is a really exciting partnership, and I think it's something that is going to help our colleges and our enrollment tremendously. But this partnership, the the point of this is to assist our colleges and the ACCS Innovation Center in identifying, marketing to, and onboarding non-traditional students. So we've actually rolled this partnership out to a pilot group of colleges. We piloted this in West Alabama. So Bevel State on their Fayette campus, Shelton State, and then Wallace Selma were in our pilot group, and we saw some fantastic initial success. I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Chris Cox and the Shelton State team for one of the initiatives that they rolled out. They started a pharmacy tech program from the ground up, and they said we really need some help in drawing prospects into this program. They partnered with Wiley, sent them a list of students, and asked Wiley to run a search for them so that they could help identify potential prospects in the area that would be a good fit for this pharmacy tech program. And Wiley Beyond was able to funnel 73 or 76 students to be able to inquire and apply for that program. Now, I don't know how many of those ended up enrolling, but it sounds like it was 32. So that's a fantastic start for a program. I'll tell you just very briefly in a moment about the tools that we are utilizing with that Wiley Beyond company, but I think the main point of this whole session is to introduce Devin Flowers. Devin, if you'll stand up, I want everybody to be able to see you. Devin is our Assistant Director for Strategic Enrollment Management, but his focus is specifically on non-traditional students. One of the things that we saw across a lot of our colleges was that we have large populations of non-traditional students. But some of that seems to be happening by accident. It's happening because of the great programs that we're offering and things like that. But what could be happening if we had some strategy behind this and we were using some tools and partnered with and found a really great partner to help us with that? And that's what Devin is here to help us do, is to roll out this partnership, but then also help our colleges point some attention toward these non-traditional students. This Wiley product is being rolled out to all of our colleges right now. We've onboarded 2 regions, as I said. West Alabama was our first region. It has also been rolled out in the Mobile area, or that rollout is happening right now. And we have other regions that will be being brought on in October. All will be actively using this partnership by November 18th. Some of the tools include, this is my last slide, so I'll be brief with this, but some of the tools that this Wiley partnership allows us to use is what they call an adult prospect pipeline. Through this, we have access to the L2 database, where we're able to sort and filter by certain census information and survey data, so that we can identify prospective students in any radius across the state, using various factors like demographics, their geography, socioeconomic status, their educational attainment, and even based off of survey data, their likelihood to pursue additional education and training over where they are right now. So this is a fantastic tool. It's a really fun thing to look at, and we've had a lot of fun being able to run some of these searches, and that's how Wiley was able to identify the right population for this pharmacy tech program. In fact, I think that they said they wanted to target single mothers under 39, is that right? Single mothers under 39 with a household income of below a certain threshold. So they rolled marketing out for this particular program and made phone calls to those students to be able to identify them and draw them into that pharmacy tech program. And again, we're able to do that with all of our colleges once this goes live. Another tool is their resident support services. I mentioned that they made phone calls for us. This resident support services as a part of the Wiley team is an extension of your recruiting and your admissions operation. They are people who are willing to pick up the phone and call lists that our colleges provide to them. We can say, hey, we have students who have stopped out. They came, they attended for a semester, but they've stopped out, and we want them to come back. If you provide that list to this Wiley company, they will place phone calls for you, and so you can see them as an extension. If there are other populations that you're saying you really want to focus on, they will do that as well. So we're excited about that partnership, if for no other reason than just to have an extension of what you're already doing in recruiting. And then finally, the marketing services, and this is something we're excited about as well. Wiley is partnering with our marketing team and with our ACCS colleges to deliver region-specific, brand-consistent marketing to Alabamians who could benefit from additional education and training. And prospects will be hit with a targeted ad through social media, through various websites, and if they click on that ad, they will be taken to a regional landing page where they can see all the schools, all the programs that are within a reasonable driving distance to where they are, so that they can decide what school is right for them, what program is right for them. And through that, they are connected to the college. The resident support services team will pick up the phone and call students who click on those ads and help them all the way through the application process. They'll help them in some cases all the way down to advising. So we're really excited about this partnership, very excited about Devin being here to help us with it, and we're excited to roll this out to the remainder of our colleges starting in October, and again, we'll be live with it by November the 18th. So that's all I had. I'm happy to answer any additional questions about enrollment or Wiley or anything like that.
I don't want to be specific, but let me ask you a question. What would be your judgment about the job being done by your former boss?
I think you do it pretty well. I have a lot of confidence in Olivier.
So, what does it look like?
What does what look like? Enrollment? Bishop State's enrollment is looking fantastic. I've pulled some, I left the numbers at my chair because I didn't know I was going to be asked specifically about a college, but they look like they're going to be substantially up. I think it's to the tune of around, I don't want to misquote, but I think it's going to be around 15 to 19% increase in enrollment. 22? 22. That's it's tremendous growth at one of our colleges, and again, that's just at one of our colleges. But but we're really proud of the work that's being done at Bishop State and all 23 others.
Would that be somewhere around, Olivier? What kind of number is that? I know the percentage, but what's the number?
It is almost 400 students right now.
That's good. 400 students more. And the numbers that I pulled, the numbers that I pulled the other day show that that's in line with pre-pandemic levels for Bishop State.
I just thought the board might have an interest in that.
Yeah, that's right. Certainly. Okay. Well, thank you for your time and appreciate your work.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. I would just like to say thank you to David, to you, and Commissioner Buckner. It's great to have you with us. Appreciate your involvement, appreciate the opportunity to work with you. It sounds like a long history that's been very productive. It's going to continue for a while yet. We appreciate the work that you and your organization does. We recognize that you interject in difficult times in people's lives, but we are so appreciative of that. Appreciated you being here and partnering with us. All right, we're going to move to section 12, committee reports. Any?
I have comments. I have some comments, Blake.
Pardon?
I have comments, no committee report.
Okay, comments, go right ahead.
Okay, we have a lot of great things going on in the system. I'm just so proud to serve on this board. And I just want to shout out to one of our presidents. Dr. Sims, would you stand, please? I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but on September 1st, President Biden announced that he has intended to appoint Dr. Sims, president of Drake State Community College, to the President's National Infrastructure Advisory Council. This council advises the White House on how to reduce physical and cyber risk and improve the security and resilience of the nation's critical infrastructure sectors. She will join 26 highly qualified and diverse industry and government leaders selected to this appointment, for this appointment, and she is the only Alabama representative. Congratulations.
I was unaware of that. Thank you, Shelton, and congratulations, Dr. Sims. Very much appreciate your work. Any other comments from the board? I just have a couple. I know we're running a bit long. We're going to take a short break and move to our work session shortly, but I've had the opportunity in the last week to speak to a group of about 100 people to talk about what's going on in the college system, and particularly the Innovation Center. And it's very exciting to see communities that we're working in excited about what we're doing. I'm very excited to hear about the enrollment. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that if my math's right, we're about 14% over the past 2 years above the national average for enrollment. Because we're 2 years in the positive and national enrollment average is negative, I think, for the past 2 years. Compliments to all of you and your staff for what you're doing to that. That is significant. That's going to help us reach goals in the state. We've got a couple of professional economic development folks on our board here, and all of us are involved in it at some level. And I've had the opportunity to be a part of one of those this week that's going on in my part of the world. And I'll tell you that, as I've said many times, everybody has dirt and everybody has incentives, but if you don't have a workforce and you don't have a pipeline, you're not going to be competitive. And at this time, we have a couple of our presidents who are involved in a pretty significant presentation talking about workforce and what we're doing and talking about these innovative things that are going on and the way that we can help industry to bring the workforce. Adult education is a tremendous part of that. We recognize that we have hundreds of thousands of people in Alabama without credentials, and it's our job and our responsibility as the community college system to see that we overcome that. And for the work being done there, we're very thankful for that. Appreciate all of you and all that you do. Anything further? Our next meeting will be the work session for this month, and it will be in this room. I'm going to ask you please to reconvene back in here at 11:50 sharp. We'll begin at 11:50 sharp. Our next Board of Trustees meeting, I do wish to point out, October 12th is scheduled to take place in Opelika at Southern Union Community College, October 12th in Opelika. Anything further? I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Motion. We have a motion in 3 seconds. All in favor? We are adjourned.
I just thought it would sound good to let everybody know the increase.
It should tidy up,
started on our work session, and we're going to begin with workforce and economic development.
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith.
So the first action, 4 action items on the work session agenda all relate to workforce and economic development, and in particular, the allocation of FY 2022-2023 industry certification initiative funds. I'll start with the very first item. The recommendation is that the action item is the allocation of FY 2022-2023 ICI funds for the existing industry training program. The recommendation is that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Chancellor to distribute through grants the sum of $300,000 from the legislative appropriations for industry certification initiative funds. These individual grants will be awarded by the Chancellor and limited to a maximum of $15,000 for the purpose of providing training for existing businesses. Again, the physical consideration is $300,000. The rationale is to grant the Chancellor the authority and discretion to expedite the process for the distribution of industry certification initiative funds to more appropriately meet the needs of business and industry. Any questions? Thank you. Action item number 2, again, with the ICI funds for FY 22-23, the recommendation is that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Chancellor to provide scholarships for 2022 Skills USA Alabama competition winners who are entering or have entered post-secondary education. The consideration is for $100,000 of the ICI funds to be used for these scholarships. The rationale, these funds will use to award scholarships up to $2,000 for each student for high school and post-secondary students winning first place at the 2022 Skills USA Alabama competitions. These scholarships will cover tuition and fees for career technical education programs at the Alabama Community College System institutions of their choice. The scholarships will be paid by reimbursement directly to the institution, and students are eligible to use the scholarships through the summer of 2023. Any questions? Action item number 3, as it relates to the allocation of ICI funds for FY 2022-2023 for a Success Coach pilot program. The recommendation is that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Chancellor to distribute through grants the sum of $180,000 from the legislative appropriation for industry certification initiative funds. Individual grants awarded to colleges by the Chancellor shall be used to support Success Coach pilot programs. The fiscal recommendation is to utilize $180,000 of these ICI funds. The rationale to grant the Chancellor the authority and discretion to provide grant awards to applicants who meet the criteria to participate in a Success Coach pilot program. The purpose of the program is to significantly increase the number of underserved students who enter and remain in post-secondary education by providing college and career planning services to those who are in the most need. The last action item under workforce and economic development is the allocation of FY 2022-2023 industry certification initiative funds. It's recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the allocation of a portion of the FY 2022-2023 industry certification initiative funds as outlined below. And I'm not going to take time to go line by line. You have a list of those. But in total, the physical consideration for this request is $6.6 million, just a little over $6.6 million for FY 2022-2023 Education Trust Fund industry certification initiatives. Included in this amount, I'll make sure I point this out, is $630,000 that is used to support career coaches at all of our colleges, and an additional $60,925 to support the registration and fees for students to receive industry-recognized credentials in the industry of manufacturing. The rationale is that these listed projects, they've been approved by the Chancellor and the Regional Workforce Development Councils as addressing priority workforce development needs in their region. These proposals have also been reviewed and approved by industry sector expert committee and the ACCS Executive Director of Workforce Development. And again, you have a listing of all those colleges. Is there any questions?
Does this fully expend the industry certification funds for 22, 23?
So the total allocation for the ICI funds is $7.1 million, and with these 4 items today, we're at $6.9 million. We have a few other items that we may bring back to the board that we had to get some clarification on, but we fully intend to expend all the funds.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Next is executive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The next item is Coastal Alabama's request that the Board of Trustees authorize the President to pursue the sale of property located at 3401 Gulf Shores Parkway in Gulf Shores. The property is comprised of approximately 1 acre and is located on the parkway. Years ago, the college purchased the property with the intent to build a dormitory for the Gulf Shores campus. However, it was determined that that was not feasible because the property was located directly across the highway from the Gulf Shores Airport, and determined that a multi-story dormitory was not feasible because of the flight paths of incoming planes. The college proposes to sell the property through the Lands Division of the Alabama Department of Conservation. The property has been recently appraised at a value of $439,000, which would constitute the minimum bid for the property in the sealed bid process. Does anyone have any questions regarding this item? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll move to facilities. Mark?
Good morning, board members.
Morning.
This morning we have 7 projects for you to consider. 3 at Bevel, 1 at Enterprise, 1 at Coastal, another at Calhoun, and the last one at Trinham State on the Patterson campus. At Bevel, beginning with the first project at the Summerton campus in Building 600, we're looking to make improvements in that building there where there already exists in that facility the Mercedes-Benz program. This is simply an effort to go in there and to modernize that space and bring it up to the standards that Mercedes-Benz would like to have for that facility for education. Bids will come in at the end of October, and as we bring that back for board action, we anticipate being able to return that to you in the October board meeting. A budget set for this board members is about $750,000 for those improvements. The next one at Bevel is roofing considerations for work that needs to be completed down at the Fayette campus. At this location here, we have identified 3 areas of flat roofs that do need to be reworked. As we move through those locations there, this will eliminate a series of leaks. Those bids will come back to us at the end of September, and we'll bring that back for approval for the board at the October board meeting. This is below the threshold that requires board approval. We're just hedging our bet in the event that those bids return and do go over $500,000, and we've satisfied the requirement for the work session. The last one at Bevel goes back to the Summerton campus at the 800 building. In this location on campus there, they have vacated space that was once used for a welding program. And because of the high demand for welding in this part of the state, they are going to reestablish the welding program in that area, predominantly in that wing on the right hand of the monitor there. And as they do so, we'll be able to modernize and put back into that space equipment, welding booths, and everything else that they need for curriculum to take care of the workforce needs in that area. We do anticipate bids coming back to us in October, and then bringing that back for the board to take action in the October board meeting. Budget is set for this project at $300 million. Excuse me, $3 million, not 300. We have seen a lot of those numbers lately. Anyways, $3 million project. Moving to enterprise, this is a project that has been moving for a while now, and we're prepared to bring part one of two parts to you for the new Performing Arts Center. Outlined in this graphic right here is the scope of construction and the site work that will be performed in connection with this building. You can see here from the rendering and in your packet the design that we are moving towards. The action that you're preparing for, board members, for the next meeting is not the building but the site package so that we can get this project going. And so as this project comes to us, we anticipate bids will return at the end of September, and that we can bring back to the board for action in October, approval to proceed with the site work. Part two of the building itself will come back to the board for action, we anticipate, in March. Budget for this project, board members, for the entire project is set at $38 million. And the site package is estimated at this time at $2.2 million. Any questions about the Performing Arts Center? The next package that we have is down at Alabama Community College, Coastal Alabama Community College on the Monroeville campus. We're looking at this site to put at the back of this Performing Arts Center space in there, developing that into a welding program. It's nicely protected with brick fencing. If you visit the campus and you look at this site, because of the screening that's done, it's currently occupied by the physical plant. And so Dr. Pouncey is going to relocate that part of the college program to another place and repurpose the area and put on a small addition for welding. Those who come for performing arts in the day and take classes there and at night will never know that there's a welding program in the back. That's what makes this project a little bit unique. As we look at the project, we included in your packet some of the artists or the architects' renderings of what we expect that facility to look like. We are anticipating bids to come back to us later this month and bringing those returns back to you at the October board meeting. Budget is set at $800,000. And then the last project we have, no, it's not the last, we're getting close though, is Calhoun at the Decatur campus there at the Kelly Gymnasium. We are working on right now work to modernize and to renovate the HVAC system in that space. Much of the building is air conditioned except for offices and the locker rooms. So the work that modernizes and updates the HVAC will expand and include the entire building. We do anticipate bids coming back. I was on a page flip for that project yesterday. Bids should come back later this month, and the budget set for the project is a little over $1 million to complete that HVAC modernization of the space. And then the last project is out at Trinham here in town at the Patterson campus. At this location here at Building F, this has historically been used as a machine tool program. We are consolidating that program into the northern part of that building, and space is being developed using CARES funds to provide space for student services, counseling, and other needs that the college has in that location. We do anticipate that bids will come back to us at the beginning of October. And then we'll have those returns available for your action in the October board meeting. Budget for this, board members, is set at $2.7 million. Board members, any questions about any of these projects? Thank you for your support, board members.
Thank you. Any other business? Work session? Not, consider ourselves adjourned. Thank you. Thank you for your attendance.